Okay, hello everybody. It is your local expert in platypus mating rituals back again with another follow-up question from Emily. So, Dr. Devon, how have the platypi responded to things like Netflix The Crown is the Queen platypus porn? Um, okay, well, this is a topic of, a topic of discussion lately. Um, you mentioned two. You mentioned two things. The Crown hasn't had an influence yet on on the platypus community. Um, Generally, because the current seasons that have been out yet um, are just they're set earlier on, so it hasn't quite matched up with the current depictions of Queen Elizabeth II on on currency. Um, but it's believed I believe the next season is supposed to be a more modern representation, a more recent representation of her. So it's possible. It's possible that this is going to be an event. Um, the the platypus community is really, it's split in how it reacts to a lot of these representations. Um, for for some, it definitely has a major effect. There's I mean the Queen, as you mentioned, there was some great controversy regarding the role of the Queen in the Naked Gun movie. There actually was an interesting overlap, just a brief period of time um, in the platypus community where Reggie Jackson was a very controversial figure um, for his involvement in that movie, where he was seen attempting to kill the Queen. That was the plot. Um, Oddly enough, Ricardo Montalban did not receive as much backlash from the platypus, just in general platypus society, but I mean, I mean, some amount of backlash due to like a very minor amount of backlash due to his involvement in that movie, but a like nothing compared to the amount of infamy that he received for his involvement in the death of Spock in Star Trek Two, clearly, um, where he was at least indirectly responsible. But yeah, there's a subset of the population who does react very strongly to these movies, to these fictionalized depictions of the Queen. But then there's another set that finds them not fully accurate enough, and almost almost a mockery. It leads to some anger among among the platypus during the whole mating season. So that's why these movies are not, they're not reliable. You can't reliably use them as part of as part of like a platypus breeding program, you're much more going to be much more successfully just providing the costumes for the platypus, and allowing them to involve it to their own level of to their own level of like authenticity. I suppose is the word we're looking for here. Um, but yeah, so that is that. Thank you for the question. If anybody has any further questions, you know where to find me on the internet.